To date, Sendikau has lifted over 1 million people out of poverty. Their approach is to combine compassion with practical training, giving people the hope and the means to secure their own future from the land. The history of Sendikau is just as fascinating as its modern-day work. So to find out more, let's take a look at the story of Sendikau. Today, Sendikau works in 7 African countries and is internationally recognised for its transformative results. Admirers range from Jonathan Dimbleby to the Bishop Sentamu, and its methods are so effective that they've even become national policy in some African countries. It's perhaps surprising then that Sendikau was started by a group of British Christian farmers in 1988. When a bishop from Uganda shared that some children in their country were malnourished due to a lack of milk, the farmers were all too aware that, simultaneously in the UK, they had a surplus. They decided to see what they could do, and one of those farmers was David Bragg.
2 of the farmers actually went out to see for themselves and spent time in Uganda and saw dairy cows that actually had come in from the US, but also saw cows that had survived the Civil War that had been taken out in colonial days. And it became very obvious that the climate of Uganda was hot, enough rain, probably a better environment for dairy cows than the winter of the UK.
The farmers only expected to send a limited amount of cows to Africa, yet when other farmers caught word of it, there was a sudden rush of support. However, a tragic turn of events was soon to change the way they worked forever. The devastating BSE crisis of 1996 drove Sendikau to the edge of collapse.
The result was that there was no animal resources, no cattle resources allowed to go out of the UK to any part of the world. And so suddenly the whole of Sendikau's main impetus stopped.
But then inspiration struck. The charity calculated that they'd made enough contacts to begin sourcing livestock locally within Africa. And what's more, they realised they could do this on a wider scale than ever before.
Also around that time, very significantly, we started working with a group of women who had been trained in some very fundamental good practice organic approach crop growing, and we then began to integrate into every program, everywhere we go, crop growing for human consumption using compost manure from dairy cows to enhance the income that the dairy cow gives as well.
In 1999, Sendikau turned a corner. British newspaper The Daily Telegraph had decided to support the charity, recognising its huge potential. The Telegraph's Christmas appeal caught the imagination of the British public, who donated £250,000 to its causes. This in turn enabled Sendikau to professionalise, expand into new countries, and broaden its training to include social and gender empowerment. Today, the story of Sendikau continues, and as always, it's propelled ever forwards by the support of ordinary people.